Good morning. Good morning, CWI. All right. Are we ready for another great year? Are we ready for another great year? I'm ready to stand up here and pretend like I'm selling Amway. Let's get into it. Okay? All right. I want to welcome everybody out, and thank you so much for coming today. We have a lot of guests, a lot of visitors, and I want to recognize, first of all, we have three of our board of trustees. I know Guy Roebuck, Emily Walt, and Sam Bastian. Emily just tweeted me something, or no, she was doing something to me. What was it? Taking a photo. Sam, give these board members a hand. You know, many times we talk about our board of trustees, which is locally elected, but I really, in these introductions, I want to make some other emphasis as well. We had a full board meeting yesterday at the Ada County campus, and we're going to try and make sure that we have a board meeting at Ada County at least 2 or 3 times a year. And our apologies, Mark Glandon could not make it this morning, and MC Island, the board chair, is in Wisconsin. So obviously she couldn't make it this morning either. These are volunteers. These are, for all intents and purposes, volunteers. They don't get paid. They show up to board meetings once a month. They read 100-page board reports. They read legal data, which only one enjoys. That's our attorney. They engage in serious conversations, fierce conversations, intense. And believe me, it's not all fun. We have a lot of fun. We do. But these are people who volunteer to give up their time and talent so that you have a governing body that cares about you and about this community. So give another hand. There's another group here today too, which is volunteer. And Mitch, could you please have the foundation, the CWI Foundation members, that they please see.
They're probably still eating out there.
Oh, they're we don't pay them either, so I mean, if you get a bill, we got to cash in when we're here. Okay. Again, I really want to acknowledge those people that are on the foundation. We're growing the foundation. We're brand new community college, as you know. We keep saying that, but I keep thinking we're pretty mature. We're growing up pretty fast here. Our foundation, again, gives up their time and talent, shows up as volunteers, does not get paid, and invests a lot of time and energy in helping put together plans and initiatives to support you, faculty, staff, and students on this campus. And when you have a foundation and a board of trustees that their number one priority is student success, then you've got a commitment that means we're going to change people's lives for dynamic purposes. So give the foundation board members a big hand. I want to acknowledge the, we have mayors here. How many mayors here? I know we've got one mayor here. Why would somebody do that? Again, stand up here, Nampa. We have a couple of superintendents. I know, you dare stand up. Big hand. You got school to I'm going to go through a lot of data today, but that's not as important because you'll know a lot of the data. Some of it might be a surprise, but what's important is the people. And sometimes I think we miss the whole point. You are making a difference. You here are making a difference, and it's huge. It's a big deal. We have reorganized, we have restructured, we haven't reorganized, we haven't changed the governance structure, we haven't done anything like that. But we have kind of realigned ourselves a little bit. We have a new executive team. And I'd like the executive team to stand up, and they should be close. We've got Brendan Henninger, Will Fanning, come and stand, where are you? Come on. Oh, Will, yeah, okay. Where's Brendan? Okay, Brendan's up there. Will, we've got Christy Rude. Where's Christy? Christy, stand up. We've got Mike Minetti. We've got Jeff Flynn. Where's Jeff? Okay. We have, there's 11 of them. Jennifer Couch. Jennifer Couch, I was in the corner in the dark. She said, if you see me do this, it means I'm either out of time or I ran over or I said something wrong. Jennifer Couch, come on, give me the rest of it.
Kevin Jensen.
Kevin Jensen, where's Kevin?
Lillian.
Tony, Kevin, David, Eric, where's Eric Reno? Eric, not Eric Reno, Eric Studebaker. See, I put that just in case. Who's Eric Reno? He's what? Don't Google it. Eric Reno was a president in Colorado. And I expect you to be a president someday in Idaho, not in Colorado. Give them a hand. That's our executive. See, you never should do that by memory. And we have a ton of volunteers. We have a ton of people who are community people. How many community people are here? Friends and partners and God. Stand up. Sus, come on, stand up. Sus, I know you're ready. Get sus, stand up. Yeah, get the rest of the people to stand up. Come on. Sus is one. I gotta tell a story about Sus. Is it okay? Yeah, okay. I gotta tell a story about Sus. Sus is one that we really recruited hard. 4 or 5 dinners, 3 or 4 lunches, to try and get her to come on the foundation board. Sus, no, can't do it. The time, I'm booked, I've got this thing, I've got that thing. Let me tell you something about Sus. She spends more time, more energy, and more of her talent than probably 4 of our foundation members right now, and has been since the day we were founded. Give Sus a hand. We are changing people's lives for dynamic purposes, literally forever. And you, the faculty and the staff, the things that we're going to talk about today, that we're going to talk about today, there's going to be a lot of data and numbers and all that kind of stuff. And that's important. But it's not as important as having a financial aid department that figures out a way to reduce student debt by 38%. We have student services that figured out ways to recruit students more efficiently, more effectively. We have an enrollment management that goes after dual credit in high schools. And as of today, am I accurate? Is this correct? As of today, we are the largest deliverer of dual credit in the state of Idaho. We have faculty that are willing to engage with students on multiple levels. Faculty. Have all the faculty stand up. Oh, come on, all of you stand up. Even those of you that are education already. More ways than we possibly ever covered. And the reason I know that is not because we did a survey. It's because of what students say and what students tell us over and over and over. It's not just because we get national recognition. It's because of students here on site, on target, on the ground that are saying, I'm going to CWI because it really did make a difference in my life. It really did change things. So thank you, faculty. Staff, I got to tell you something. I hear it's the unsung heroes in a lot of regards. Staff members have huge direct contact with students, and sometimes they minimize the amount of contact that they have with students. But staff is amazing. Everything from our senior custodial group, our senior custodial group, the same labor. It's a great environment. We have people that meet students one-on-one, grounds people who talk to students on a day-to-day basis, and the difference between student success at a community college and having them not be successful is that they attach or identify with one faculty, staff, student, or somebody else. They identify and connect with somebody. We're one of the greatest connectors in the state of Idaho as far as connecting students to our people. And that's because you take an interest in making sure that you connect with students. All the staff stand up. Give them a hand. Come on, staff. Stand up. Now, before I get started on data, which I know you all enjoy this, you come here to hear the data. That's one of the reasons we had this at the fall. That and to make sure everybody's returned. And, I want to make one other announcement. David Shelburne is sick and won't be here today. We have 2 or I think 3 faculty members that are sick that won't be here today to receive their awards. If you start to contract a sore throat, a headache, or whatever, get to the doctor, because obviously there's something, it's not a pandemic or anything else, but obviously there's something going around that you need to curb right away. So we have something, and maybe their first flu or whatever coming out, but there is something going on. Make sure, I'm not saying, just be cautious. We have a student speaker that we're going to open with today, because students are the most important thing that we have going here at CWI. Students are our lifeblood, students are our future, students are what make us great. So I would like to invite Melissa Geary to the stage. We have a student presentation. Give her a big hand.
Hello. As Bert said, my name is Melissa Geary, and I am a communications major here at CWI. And I started in spring of 2014, and I am set to graduate in spring of 2016. I am also the current president of the PTK Honor Society here at CWI. It's been a great ride. So what I kind of want to do today is just share with you my journeys thus far with CWI, and kind of just touch on what Bert said with how you make a difference in students' lives. So first of all, I just want to kind of take it back a little bit. Back in high school, I just was a C/D average student. I really didn't care about academics. I graduated, barely, but I graduated in 2001. And I moved up here to Boise and from Glenns Ferry, which is about an hour away, small community there. And college wasn't in my sights. I just didn't even think about it. It wasn't something that I thought I could do because school was just not my thing. So I joined the workforce, and I met my now husband, and he had a son that was about 1.5 years old. And so after I worked for about a year, I decided I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and take care of him. So I did that for quite a few years, and then my sister had kids, my brother had kids, and so I continued to watch them and help them grow, and it was amazing to be a part of their lives and watch them grow and help them with their homework and sports and things of that nature. But fast forward to, I believe it was 2013, I was turning 30, and I kind of sat back and just realized this isn't what I want to do with my life. I want some kind of independence. I want to feel like I'm worth something, have some self-worth. And so I talked to my husband, and I said, I really think I want to go to school now. And I said, I'm scared out of my mind because I don't think I can do it, but I'm going to try. So he supported me, and I decided that I wanted to go to CWI because it just felt like it would be a good fit for me. And I registered, and I started my first semester, and I was scared. My poor husband, I probably cried to him every day. I can't do this, I can't do this, I'm so scared. And the hard times are just, they were there. They still continue to be there, being a wife and being a mom, and just late nights, missing out on things. My son, are you coming to my baseball game tonight? I'm sorry, I can't. And I have class, and he tries to be supportive. Okay, Mom, I understand, but I can see the disappointment in him. And it's hard, but that drives me and motivated me to want to just work really hard and make this worth something, to know that I'm actually doing something good and not just wasting my time. I made sure I showed up to class, stayed up late doing homework. It was stressful, but I feel like in the end it's going to be worth it. And my first semester, I have to say, all my teachers have made an impact on me thus far, but my first semester I had Prom 101 with Michelle Mahoney, and yes, she's amazing. And I have to tell you, a lot of the reason why I am still here today, because she believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. She saw something in me that I did not see in myself. And for that, I will be forever grateful to her, because without her, I did a speech in class and she just said, it was amazing, you did awesome. And she's like, there's a rookie tournament coming out at CWI, you should join, or you should compete. And I'm like, I don't think so. I can't do that. And she just kept encouraging me, you got this, and I'm like, so finally with her encouragement, I did it, and I placed third, and I was so excited and so happy. And it was that just drove me. It just lit a fire into me to say, I am capable. I can do this. Coming from where I was in high school, I was like, this is crazy to me. I was just finally started feeling proud of myself. And I had a 4.0 first semester, and I was so excited. And then next semester, I got asked to be on the Honor Society. And that was new. I've never been part of an Honor Society. So I was scared, but I decided to become a member, and I was an active member, and I tried to, I was organizing some volunteer opportunities, and Jenna Cadrani, my advisor, she once again was another person that saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. She's like, you would be good as a vice president. We need a vice president. I'm like, okay, well, I said, okay. So they interviewed and I got the position, and I was so excited and happy, but scared because it just put more work on my table. And, with my son and my husband, it was hard. But at the same time, my son just said, Mom, I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. And he's like, I want to go to college. And he works really hard in studies, and he's a 4.0 student. And it just makes me so happy to know that I had that impact on him because others had that impact on me. And then that semester went by, I got a 4.0, and then next semester comes up, and I said, I want to go further. And my advisor says, run for president of PTK. Okay, I don't know, should I? Are you sure? And of course, she just kept encouraging me. You got this. You can do this. So I did, and I was elected president, and I was just, once again, I'm floored and so just humbled to be a part of such a great organization with PTK and with CWI. We've done some great things in the community. We've volunteered with the Special Olympics. We have volunteered with the Boise Rescue Mission, with the Alzheimer's Association, and going forward, make sure to help those students that are scared like me to maybe not be so scared and be their support system. We are working on a partnership with the ASCWI and being so we could be a mentor for students that need help, that just want to call in and say, hey, I'm a little worried, I'm scared, I need help. Can you, and just be that support system for them, like I had from with my teachers and my family. And sorry, I get emotional because I just never thought that I would be here in front of you guys, a year ago, when I started school. And it's just been an amazing journey thus far. CWI has been an amazing organization to work with, and just know, as faculty, all of you, you make an impact on us. You change our lives, literally you change us. I am now more confident. I start to believe in myself and start to push myself further. So with that, I wanted to leave you with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi, and it is, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. And I feel like when I walk across that stage, receiving my diploma next May, that I will have been the change that I wanted to see in the community, in CWI, in PTK, but most importantly, the change I want to see in myself, and to know that I can possibilities are endless from here on out. Thank you.
If you take nothing away from today's presentation, don't ever forget that. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. We in CWI, when our founding board created us and when the community voted to tax themselves to start us up, created opportunity. And where you have opportunity, you all of a sudden have hope. And where you have hope, all of a sudden you have all kinds of accomplishments that were never possible prior. So I want to thank Melissa for sharing that with us. I have to tell you that faculty, staff, board members, our number one priority is student success, and we live that. We don't just talk it, we actually live that. That's probably going to be more impactful to changing this community than any other element in the community. 2 days ago, I was actually driving to work, and I saw this young gentleman. I come down Canada Road, south on Canada Road. I saw this young gentleman walking down. I thought, this class has started. So I stopped. I said, "Do you need a ride?" He says, "Yeah, I'd really like a ride." And so I said, "Well, come on, get in." So we're driving down. He's about halfway down Canada Road. I thought, wow, that's a long way to walk to the college. I says, "Well, are you a student at CWI?" He said, "No." So I said, "How far am I taking you?" He says, "Well, no, I need to get down the bus stop at CWI." And I said, "Well, great." Well, and I got a text from him literally 3 hours later. He says, "That's a nice campus. I go there every day to get on the bus, but we probably now have another individually seriously looking at the campus." When you go to the grocery store, when you talk to friends and family, when you're out there, one of the things that was surprising, I think, to all of us when we did that little survey about a year ago, was that we think that we're widely known in the community because we have 20,000 students. How can you not be widely known in the community when you have 20,000 students? But yet the survey showed that only about 3% of the people actually knew something about CWI. They knew CWI was a new college, or they knew that CWI had a campus in Nampa, but less than 3% of the total population actually knew something about us. We have a job to do. We have to start speaking and announcing that we're here and the kinds of impact and changes that we're having. This day, right next to graduation, graduation is the best day of my year, and I'm sure it's the best day of your year too, watching graduation occur. This day and graduation is probably the two best days that we have a chance to talk and say, how are we going to change things? How are we going to get the word out? Because it's going to be important in the future that we make sure more than 3% of our community knows, believes, and understands the major impact that we have in the community. I just wanted to mention a few, and believe me, when I start down, there's hundreds of faculty that are having major impact. I'd like to have Johnny just stand for a minute. I understand Johnny Rowing has a brand new, is it 5-day-old baby girl? 15 days old. It's a miracle. And your wife's doing better. Okay, all right. The reason I point Johnny out is because Johnny, and I can name hundreds of you, literally of every faculty member, Johnny has had a major impact in speech and debate, and everybody hears about that every year. And it's almost a standard now that we win the national title. I mean, BSU, Bob, no, never mind, I can't bring that up. Dr. Custer and I have had many conversations because I think now BSU recruits a major portion of our people to go to theirs. With scholarships. 4 years. I'll never forget, I think it was 2 years ago, I remember the team coming back and saying BSU had won the national title and we won the community college title. And the community college, our students were saying, next year we got to beat BSU. And then they looked at each other and said, wait a minute, next year I'm at BSU. So that's a real epiphany to wake up and find out you gotta compete with yourself, and it is amazing. Steve Lenz has biology, the chemistry labs. I got to tell you, there's some huge stories coming out of our science labs and what's going on there. Steve's doing a phenomenal job with students, and I go on. Pam Hodges, You can go on and on and on with the number of faculty that are connecting with students and changing their lives and moving them forward. And we can't thank you enough in terms of that. That is a major impact. Notable stats, obviously, speech and debate, 4th national championship, business professionals, 7 students won awards there. We have U.S. skills with 6 medals. And this one is, depending on who you talk to, it's somewhere between 40 and 49% increase in dual credit students, which is the largest increase in the state. And as I said earlier, we're now the largest deliverer of dual credit in the state. What impact does that have? And there's a lot of controversy about, well, if we serve dual credit students, you know, they get their credits when they're in high school and then they won't come to us. You know what? What business are we in? Student success. We ought to be concerned about the bigger picture of how do we move students through the system more efficiently, more effectively, and get them successful as quick as they can. Dual credit is and will continue to play a major role in the state of Idaho and moving students successfully through. The Micron Center National Recognition for Outstanding Design. Many people now have recognized our Micron Professional Technical Center as the premier center for professional technical training in the Northwest. And many have even said west of the Mississippi, because we don't know what's east of the Mississippi, we don't care. Apprenticeship enrollment is the highest it's been in the last 5 years. And I got to tell you, the trades are coming back, and obviously as the economy improves, and we have normalized as a community college. I think I can say that before we get to the enrollment slide. But we've normalized as a community college in that we are a lot like the other community colleges in terms of how our students come, how they enroll, where they go. And everybody knows, it was delighted, all of the presidents, the university and community college presidents, met with the governor last Tuesday, and he was going to give us 20 minutes. And I'm really thrilled to say he spent 2 hours with us. And at the end of 2 hours, he had been enlightened in terms of the major impact that community college and universities play. But community college, there's a direct correlation between employment. If employment is up, enrollment in higher education will go down. There's a direct correlation. It's been there for 50 years. That there's a direct correlation. That just means that we have a different job. We don't get the typical students coming straight out of high school. They won't come in throws because they can get work, which means we're doing retraining, training, we're doing customized training, we're doing other kinds of things to help these students move along, because the first job they have usually is the first job they have. And until they get more skills, they don't get the second job. And one of our things about raising the bar in economic development is making sure that they get the skills to get the second job and the third job. And I don't know about you, whether you have young adults in your house or not. The fact of the matter is, we know today that students graduating from high school will probably have 5 to 7 careers, not jobs. They'll have 5 to 7 different careers. That's going to take ongoing intensive training, education to help move our populace through these kinds of transitions that are going to occur. The other absolutely exhilarating or paralyzing thing, depending on how you look at it, is we don't know what they're going to be. We don't know what the jobs are going to be in a lot of regards. So we have a huge task to address that issue. The other task we have, yes, I've gone off script, I know. The other task we have, and I got to share this, Johnny having a grandbaby in his house. We have a grandbaby in our house, 9-month-old. Can't walk and can't talk. But what he can do is run grandma's iPad. And what he has figured out is if he takes grandma's iPad and grandma puts a photo on there, especially of Chase, baby Chase. Oh, baby Chase, you see him? He's not big enough. 9 months old, can't walk, can't talk, but he knows how to manipulate an iPad. Think about it. He's going to school someday. And I tell you, this generation that's coming up, it's not a matter of they're more technical savvy. They're inherently technical. inherently have some inherent abilities that we have to learn. I'm hitting a key to continue. Ask anybody in IT. I've hit a bunch of keys. Not many of them work, but I've hit many, many keys when it didn't work. I have to learn this skill. They're inherently gaining the skill before they ever enter school, which means we have a huge challenge. Faculty, staff, everybody has a huge challenge in dealing with the new generation coming up in terms of how we're going to teach and learn. I'll address a little bit more of that later. As you know, a long time ago, we started the process of getting our standalone accreditation. We're on track, we're on target. We have a visit actually a year from next October, a year from October. That'll be our final visit, and after that visit, they'll make a recommendation. So in January, at the Northwest Accrediting Association meeting in January of 2017, we should be able to be acknowledged as receiving our standalone accreditation. And that's been a lot of hard work by a lot of you to get to that point. We're just finishing up our letter of review, and we don't want to be overly optimistic, but we are. We fully expect, and I will tell you that one of the other great things, you know that CSI is our host college of the Northwest Accrediting Association. And President Jeff Fox and I have met several times, and he said, quite frankly, Bert, you're ahead of a lot of the schools, a lot of the older schools, you're ahead of them in terms of the things that you have in place and the processes that you have. And he and I both agree, one of the great things about a brand new community college, we don't know what we can't do. And we're doing a whole lot of things that other schools, quite frankly, couldn't do. And I don't mean they can't do it. I mean, it's more difficult for them to do it. We've done some things in remediation here that if you honestly talk to other presidents, you have to realize that CSI has a 50-year history they're celebrating this year. NIC has an 84-year history that they're celebrating this year. So quite frankly, we're so new, we can say, let's go do that. Let's change how we do remediation for English. And we did it. And it's a great model, and it might be the new national model. We're looking at math labs. Our board had their board meeting at Ada County this last yesterday, and we went through the new math labs that we're looking at, the mega labs, or I don't have the name right, but they're huge. And they got big screens, and these keyboards say hit any key to continue. So the fact of the matter is we're looking at delivering differently. We're looking at how we deliver and doing it differently to better serve students, the new student coming up. And I'm proud of that. I think that's a great, again, give yourself a hand. We're way ahead of the curve on making that happen. As you know, we have a new student area located in the Nampa campus academic building. With our new CWI president, Crystal Flores, and new student life coordinator, Hing Potter. Is Hing here? Hing, stand up, will you please? There he is, give him a big hand. I was going to say that it was Harry Potter's brother, but I held off. No, I really didn't, did I? I don't know Hing that well, so I probably owe him lunch. So Hing, we'll go to lunch someday and talk about Harry, okay? We've added more workshops to be added to students with every time management, career exploration, and computer navigated systems. We have a new web-based tool. Believe me, this is exciting for not just you, not just students, but for companies. There's a new opportunity to connect students with companies in a way that they feel comfortable, safe, and risk-free, and the student gets the kinds of resources and exposures that they can to get to jobs. Yes, our number one priority is student success, and we've spent 5 years defining student success. One part of student success is employment. And once they get employed, if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, quite frankly, if you aren't taking care of food, shelter, clothing, transportation, it's pretty hard to learn about self-fulfillment or self-awareness if you don't have the basics taken care of. So in some regards, we need to make sure that we get them the skills and we hook them up with the businesses to get them into careers where they can earn a living and stabilize themselves so that they can come back and be self-fulfilled so they can come back and get the more advanced skills. We're a lifelong process. We don't have students today, we have students forever. And we will be a lifelong learning community. Over the past, I thought that said transfer sports. Oh my gosh, I almost panicked for a minute. I'm softening on the sports program issue. Not much. But we are talking about the future and where we might go, and there's been a lot of conversation about sports, and we will have conversations about sports in the future. The question is with the sports programs, which is not on any slide, right? No slides? Okay. Is that the cost is an inordinate amount of money. But there are now, quite frankly, the NJACC is even talking about moving to club sports and changing their whole format about how they deliver sports at community colleges. So that'll be in the next 2 or 3 years, that'll be a conversation that comes up again and again. And obviously, if you've been on our campus on a Saturday, you know that we're a soccer-friendly group. There's only about 6,000 kids on campus on Saturdays. We've established strong partnerships, which is another really strength with the CWI. Partnerships at all levels. Partnerships with K-12, partnerships with universities. But we are actually exploring and merging into areas with partnerships with business and industry like never before, and in new ways that is setting the tone for how community college might work with industries in the future, not only in just changing professional technical programs, but actually in how we deliver and how we work with people that are already in the various industries. CWI, last year's retention group, launched a new initiative. The basis of the program is called upon faculty and staff to actively encourage students and invite them to challenges beyond the classroom. Some examples would be perhaps to write a note or an essay, to submit to the literary journal, the Basalt. By the way, how many of you have seen, other than the English department, I know the English department has, how many of you have seen the Basalt? Okay, good, all right. That is a great start in our literary area, and I want to thank the English department for inviting me to be involved in helping select the winners of the writing, the fiction, nonfiction. I will tell you that was the greatest couple weeks of my life last spring when I got to work on that activity. We have some very bright students. And if anybody ever says to you, and this is one thing, seed I want to plant in the community, well, if they can't get into BSU, if they can't get into NNU, if they can't get into the U of I, they can't get into Idaho State, you know, they can always go to the community college. And one of these scholarships programs that are coming up now talks about how you're automatically accepted to the universities. The fact of the matter is we have some of the best and brightest students in the Valley coming to CWI for the reason that it's not only affordable and accessible, but we have excellent faculty moving them forward. And that's an important factor that we need to make sure that the community understands we are working with some of the best and the brightest.
I'm a Jessica in 2011. I recognize this really bright, energetic, amazing person who maybe didn't think that she was bright, energetic, or amazing. One day I asked her what her education was. She didn't really have an answer, and then she kind of came up with a lame answer, which was, it's just going to take too long. And I told her at that moment, time is going to pass no matter what, so you might as well just do it.
I think one of the most important goals we have in College of Western Idaho is to invite students to believe in themselves. I think sometimes, just as human beings, we see the possibilities in others before they even see it in themselves.
I was a student that got a work study job in the chemistry department and the biology department as well. They come together at that time. I asked if they had an extra book that I could borrow. Within minutes, the department head had replied and said, sure, go ahead.
I had a great story recently with Patrice Hadaway. She had a cover letter that was so good that a Fortune 100 company that no University of Idaho student had ever gotten any attention that passed around the cover letter that she wrote and said how great it was. And she gave me credit for that. So last year was my mentor. He invited me to his home, he invited me to his life. And he opened the door just to learn more about me as a person, which honestly I didn't get at all.
My inspiration came from my journalism advisor, Mark Schlegorn. He saw a very shy and self-conscious kid, and he groomed me into the newspaper editor for my high school newspaper when I would have never taken on a leadership role otherwise.
I think the person that invited me to think for myself and be creative with my ninth grade English instructor, Dan Hughes. Dan helped me in my career now to help students that I work with in the high school setting translate what they're doing to the successes that they maybe not have a vision to now do. That was Mr. Jordan Blitz, and he became one of the most inspirational instructors I've ever had. He kind of took us under his wing, more than just saying, "You're doing great, here's some ideas to do better." He actually ended up steering my career.
I had always wanted to go back to graduate school, but I didn't have the courage. After years of teaching the basic skills education, I saw these students doing exactly what I was afraid to do, especially after having one student do these truths that I found myself encouraging her to go on to college. And that made me realize that maybe I ought to follow her example.
Along the way, you're dealing with student after student after student, you hope that you are able to make a difference and help them believe in themselves and help them become as awesome as they can be.
Instructors and department heads that barely even knew me cared enough and trusted me enough with the simple things in textbook. Because somebody believed in me, that made a difference.
Matt, he taught me that I was worth it, that I was enough, that personally I can do more for my life than what I believe I do. I had no idea that those words would inspire her to go on and do what she's done. The thing that she needs to remember though is that she's the one that did. She's the one that took her intelligence and her talent and her energy and finished it. And that's what's so great about being in a community college, is helping people realize what they can do.
Jessica Arga, will you please stand up? Jessica. She produced this. Changing lives for dynamic purposes forever. Jessica also reminded me, I made $1 that day. As she crossed the stage, you didn't get to see it, but she handed me $1. Did, didn't you? Yeah, I did. I still have it. I framed it. Okay. Changing people's lives for dynamic purposes forever. I'm going to have to kind of speed up here a little bit. We're into the finance, investing, and education. Quite frankly, there's a couple takeaways I want to make sure you know. When you talk to people in the community, you need to know this. This is something you need to have on the tip of your tongue. 2016, our budget is going to be $53.76 million. $53 million, almost $54 million, the CWI budget, proposed budget. Students, we're finally dropping below the 50% mark. Students' tuition and fees are accounting for about 41% of this now. That's a key factor. Know that CWI's tax levy rate is $16.63 per 100,000 on a household. $16.63 compared to CSI in Twin Falls is $95.54 per 100,000, and NIC's in North Idaho is $120 per 100,000. So by far and away, we have the smallest levy in any of the community colleges. You need to know that in case that comes up in conversation. But one other data I always throw out there, you, in most of your homes, I know that in my home, I pay $38 and something for mosquito abatement, which is twice what I'm paying for the local community college. Here is a disbursement of the education by function. 72% is direct supportive instruction and student support. Investing in students. The College of Advancement Department and the foundation are 100% dedicated to supporting the access of education through scholarships, providing startup funds for new education programs, funding long-term capital plans to support growth, and provide vital education opportunities for our community. Last year, the grant committee, which represents from people across the campus, was formed to help match the needs with funding opportunities. And additionally, the COSB brought full-time grant project manager and external resource to support our goal to increase funding to support CWI through grants and contracts and large asks, meaning that we are actively in the fundraising campaigning effort. Know well that as we move forward in our strategic planning and where we're going in future planning, we're going to need to probably look at how we're going to build buildings in the future, how we're going to grow the campus, and I'll get to that in just a few minutes. Enrollment, you well know, is well over 20,000 students and growing. We know that by several of the surveys that come out, that our population in the Western Treasure Valley will probably double by 2040. So if we're 2045. So if we're looking at the population base doubling, we probably are looking at, if we only do serve 3% of the population, we're probably looking at going from 20,000 students to how many? 40. Think about that one for a minute, okay? That's long enough. Okay. Marketing and recruitment. CWI's got a major factor in helping bridge skills gap. Increased percentages of students that go on to attain degrees or certificates requires our college to be purposeful in our outreach efforts, especially those underserved populations who require additional convincing that college is for them. And I don't know who in this world that college is not for. Because if we really look at raising the bar, if we really talk about affecting economic development in the Western Treasure Valley, we need to make sure that everybody is getting some college beyond high school if they're going to be successful. Last year, our marketing and recruitment department launched a new marketing campaign, Upgrade U.0, and target outreach efforts to help students in our area realize that college is accessible and that CWI is the first and best choice for starting. As you see, these efforts led to substantial increase in impressions, community engagements, visits to campus, ultimately supporting the meeting our enrollment goals for this coming year. CWI must continue to grow. If we are going to serve this community, we must continue to grow and meet the needs of our community. We have another video.
I have been a paramedic for 28 years. I reached retirement age in that industry. So I'm too young to retire. So I would like to continue on in the medical field. And again, that's where the RA program really is.
Learning things and applying it to the 10 years of knowledge I already had within the industry and still coming up with new information, still, learning, genuinely learning.
Everything that I'm learning in this course, it's covering a lot more than just IT support. We're having to, take math classes as well as English.
The skill set that it's giving me is applying to any job that I could possibly enter. Anything from an office setting to a restaurant to even possibly starting my own business.
For me to actually come in here and at the end of my first year actually now be able to go home and teach my as if it's been a mechanic for most of his life.
It helped me get more confidence as well with the job and going to customer side, being the confidence and knowing that I know what I'm going to do, what my job is, and I'm going to face it.
I have learned that I can do things that I didn't think I could do. And one of them was math, because I came here out of an experience which was your basic math trauma, and now I because I'm also a student computer. I did not, but I have math. I started my first semester after my job as a practicum. When I came back to go there, they were looking for trainings that you should apply for this last year because you have the experience in our classroom.
Having a master's degree from the council, I've spent almost $200,000 doing my degree for the money that I spent here at CWI. That's money I've ever spent for education.
They're not trying to pull more people into college so they can get some money. They're pulling people into college so they can help them to better themselves and to be more. Because everyone deserves that opportunity.
Changing people's lives for dynamic purposes forever. Where will CWI be in 25 years? Where will CWI be in 25 years? And how do we plan and strategize now for that period? We've had program changes, innovative approaches to education. We've had law enforcement, which, by the way, is being recognized statewide as one of the premier programs of their kind. Math 095, the Emporium style math, we're kicking off this fall, which is a huge another breakthrough, which I think will serve as a regional model, if not a state model. The real estate classes, we have masonry partnerships with Meridian High School. We have transportation management course, the general education certificate, which is a direct transfer credits to the university, which is a huge effort in streamlining and moving students through. Student success, depending on how we define it. CWI, the first semester class, support success in the first semester experience. We found that one of the major factors is making sure that we convince these students in the first semester they're here, it's not only possible, it's highly probable they're going to be successful and that they can be. All they've got to do is decide that they want to be. That's one of the big moves in CWI moving students forward. We have technical training. Obviously, I think we've seen this slide several times, those of you that have been at any other presentation. We have technical training workforce. We have strong partnerships with the community, addressing the skills gap, which is a big statewide initiative with economic development, to provide quality education and direct support for student success. We have the high school dual credit transfer program, business and industry programs design, skilled workforce, ongoing training of employees, other colleges and universities. The ease of transition is becoming one of the key factors in terms of moving students forward. Economic development groups act as an educational resource to help to attract and grow local businesses. We have been referred to twice now in the Boise Valley Economic Development Group as the closer. And those of you that are in sales or marketing know what the closer is. We are viewed as they need to bring CWI in if they want to convince a company to come here, because we're the can-do people with the want-to habit, and we're the ones that are making it happen for a lot of the economic development movements in the area. Community, individuals in the community, keeping the doors open and responding to all educational needs. Planning over the next 10 years, consolidate and grow to support 30,000 or more students. Add critical programs in healthcare, IT, business, communication, and trades. Believe me, the next 10 years is going to be exhilarating. And to some of you, I've heard, oh my gosh, all this change, all this adjustment. And many times the massive amount of changes you go through paralyzes some people and energizes others. We need to be the ones that are energized by the constant change and the constant growth in terms of meeting the needs. Compass report for the Western Treasure Valley showed that we were going to double in size and probably jump even more significantly than that. The development of programs at each of our campus locations, along with a mix of online training, will be programmed in partnership with people like you throughout the community that we serve. We are relying on our community partners and those community members to help work with us to meet this need. CWI programming to help Idaho met the goal of 60% of Idaho in order to meet the program. My 9-month-old actually understands that. See, and he paid real close attention when I delivered this last night. CWI is programming to help Idaho meet the goal of 60% of Idahoans age 25 to 34 attaining a degree or a certificate. Comprehensive strategic plan. Let me just say that the board yesterday voted. We are going to engage, and we've agreed, the board has approved us moving forward in conversations with Eva Klein and Associates to help us update our comprehensive strategic plan. Starting this fall, the college will begin work on this plan to ensure that we align and position for institutional sustainability and growth. Long-term planning. This is nothing new. We're still planning on 3 campuses: the Ada County campus, the Canyon County campus, and the online virtual campus. CWI developed a 3-campus master plan in 2012 with the intent that the college would have primary physical campuses, locations in Canyon County and one in Ada County, as well as a very robust online delivery system, a virtual campus, allowing for the additional ease of access. The college right now, and this is probably another fact that you ought to take away when they talk about why do you need, if you hear from the community, why do you need an Ada County campus? You've got 100 and some acres out in Nampa. Why do you need an Ada County campus? Well, quite frankly, we already have an Ada County campus. It just happens to be 5 leased buildings in a business park. It does not have any campus identification to it. And what we're trying to do, and the board has taken a very strong position, is we support wholly, and that's to get out of the leases. We spend over $2 million in leases every year. And as the economy improves, those leases are not going to be stagnant. The cost of that's going to go up. It is in our best interest to find and establish an Ada County campus site and build buildings that we get out of our leases. What we're paying for leases, we probably could actually buy the buildings in that period of time. So that's something you need to know when the community talks to you about why do you need another campus. The other part of that conversation is the fact that over 50% of our students come from Ada County as well. So that's a couple data that you might want to put in the bank. The Nampa campus, and the other part of this conversation is, well, if you're going down to Ada County and starting a campus, what about the 100 acres you have out here? Starting the Nampa campus, CWI took a visionary step forward in its update of the Nampa master plan. The updated master plan reflects a more current and comprehensive view of this campus and the future growth and development and support of the community. The new plan was based on growth estimates through 2040. Due to its size and location, the Nampa campus provides adequate area for developing programs that require more physical space for labs and equipment, and such as the trades and the healthcare program. Based on the visionary needs and the assessment, CWI identified the greatest needs of students, and the community would include more dedicated space for health programs and a common space dedicated for student support services that would provide for student success. The 2 buildings that have been programmed or are being programmed in terms of having a plan for is the students center and the health industry. And let me clarify something, because you will hear this from the community as well. Our student success center, we do not call it a student union, and there's a reason. In the community, as soon as you say student union, they think of bowling alleys, pool tables, ping pong, swimming pools, I don't know. They think of activities. This student center that we're looking at for CWI is a student success center. The first of the buildings is let me talk the first of the buildings. First of the buildings is the health sciences building, and will aid in consolidation and expansion of all the college's health programs associated with academic labs and classrooms. Idaho's healthcare workforce needs will be 7% higher than the national average in 2024. The healthcare industry expected to have the largest increase the workforce needs in Idaho. CWI is very closely with the main hospitals and the health centers to meet the workforce needs of certificates and 2-year degree program credentials. Our students attain and desire skills so that they can begin work immediately upon graduation, and then continue on with one of the fine bachelor programs available through Idaho's universities if they choose. This building is designed to provide open corridors with optimal viewing into clinical lab spaces similar to what is designed into our Micron Center for Professional Technical Building. It provides great teaching and learning opportunities for students, teachers, and visitors interested in the health science field. Additionally, the building will have a large academic classroom space that advantages technology resources to enrich the quality of education of our students. The Student Success Center will include the library learning commons, advising and counseling. From advising to financial aid to a robust library learning commons where tutoring and academic support work side by side. To the bookstore with the retail services, conference space, support services, students will benefit from this collaborative center, and that will help them focus on helping them achieve their academic success. Permanent location for Ada County. Again, over 50% of our students reside in Ada. 7,000 students attend classes in Ada County right now. We currently occupy 6 leased facilities in Boise, and we lack the awareness and convenient access. This is probably one of the most important and grueling decisions that our board has been through in terms of trying to find and work through site location that is effective, efficient, and to better serve the Ada County students. Based on our strategic planning and the 3 campus concept, our board of trustees and administration have been evaluating possible sites over the last 3 years. We have looked at several opportunities with careful consideration of location, cost, size, building considerations, and course accessibility for students. Although a long and exhaustive process, the board wants to ensure that the site that we ultimately choose will be the best long-term investment in serving students and in serving our community. Right now, the potential in Boise, on April 22nd, CWI Board of Trustees approved entering into an agreement to purchase approximately 10 acres. Entering into an agreement. We have not bought 10 acres in Boise, as has been reported. We have not bought 10 acres in Boise. We are in an agreement, and we are in a 6-month due diligence process. Everything from a value assessment of the property to soil sampling to the new floodplain proposals that are being put out there. There is a long process that won't be complete until October. So I think it's October 20th is the date that we finally should have all the data, all the assessment in, and then the board will make a decision on this site or on other sites that we might be looking at to put a campus in the west end of Boise. CTA Architects is leading the conceptual design process, and the first step is gathering community insight, which includes our faculty, staff, students, and the community at large. They have scheduled 2 community drop-in sessions at Whittier Elementary School on September 2nd and on September 3rd from 4 until 7 p.m. or you can provide input through the online survey. Additionally, the CTA Architects team will be coming out to our Ada and Nampa campuses on September 2nd from 9 to 11 for the convenience of faculty, staff, and students who cannot attend the public sessions. We truly value everyone's contribution of thoughts, as this is your community college campus. And we are doing everything possible to get as much information as possible from the community, all stakeholders, in terms of what they view of this site. One of the common themes that you may have noticed throughout the presentation is how CWI is not just a service for the community we serve, but their investment in participation in our programs is vital to our success with students and programs. I want each of you, both in the community and in the faculty, as to how you can play an active role in support of your community college and how you can engage our community in serving students. We want the community to visit CWI campus and see firsthand the impact of their investment and how they can partner with us to support students and community initiatives that support enrichment opportunities. A visit to our Micron Center for Professional Technical Education is a great example of the educational impact and amazing regional training resource that are possible because of long-term investing in our facilities. Invite leaders of industry, business and industry experts to your classroom, and in turn offer your expertise to the community. Partner to launch programs, support educational excellence, support community initiatives. Para-Opt and Masonry are an example of how CWI partnered with industry and education to initiate new programs and garner grant support, and always encourage students to get involved. Students volunteering in community is not only advantageous to the community, but it is a critical part of their learning process and integration into the community. Wait a minute. Our brand, educational resource and value of community investment, relies heavily on how we engage with our students in the community. Along with strong branding and marketing that our marketing and recruitment departments are doing with outreach, we need everyone around the college to help encourage people to share. We hear the good stories, the conversations on a daily basis, but with an increase in the use of internet and engagement and research, we want to encourage students, partners, and guests to share their experience by leaving reviews online. Online reviews of our college are important for attracting new students and showing our supporters and taxpayers the important impact we are making in education. Since starting our active campaign to encourage people to share reviews, CWI has increased our score on Facebook and Google from 3.1 to 3.8 and 3.2 to 3.7 respectively on a scale of 1 to 5. We have a lot of work to do in this area. And those of you that, how many of you tweet? How many of you Google? How many of you would like to Google and tweet? Okay. There's a 5-credit class starting right after this on how to Google and tweet. We need to get the word out because, quite frankly, the new students of the future are not necessarily coming to us the same way that the previous students had come to us. They look at Google, they look at tweeting, they look at what people are saying about us online, right, wrong, or indifferent. We need to put resources online about what we're doing and how we're doing it. And if you Google or tweet, we are actively asking you to engage in moving that effort forward, because social media has an impact and will have a greater impact each year that we're around. Our goal by the end of this year, and remember I said we were at 3.8 and 3.7. Our goal is to get to 4.5 out of 5. We're trying to get to 4.5 out of 5. Check with Jennifer Couch as to how they compute this. It's like I really identified, I did understand, getting a 4.0 in school, because it took me my entire 4 years in high school to get a 4.0. I got a 1.1 the first year and a 1.1 the second year. By my senior year, I had 4.0. We have a video.
We have all been given by the voters of Ada and Canyon County a great gift. The gift of a community college, the College of Western Idaho, that keeps on giving, now and well into the future.
Community college is an outstanding way to gain real-life technical knowledge that can be directly applied to your profession. As soon as you graduate, even before you graduate.
We have St. Luke's, we have St. Al's, we have the VA, Treasure Valley Hospital, Nampa, West Valley. We have all the clinical sites. So their chances of getting placement are greater through our program because we have clinical sites in all those hospitals.
I get to impact 20 lives a year in a way that probably nobody else is going to get to. And I do the impact that I get to have on students and the impact they can have on people as they go out as a part of the education.
And the community really is what keeps CWI going. And so we keep the community going as CWI students as well.
I have the opportunity to work with the students that are in the program at CWI and are coming in and working part-time. We're doing an internship at the shop and get an opportunity to actually interact with these students, help them further their education and real life experience.
They support us as far as advisory members, but the best part is getting our students.
We judge student success by how they actually get out and get a job in industry.
CWI gives because they want to. It allows the students to get more hours and volunteering, and also looks to the community who supports it.
We are so thankful for the partnership with the Office of Foundation. Because through their support of CWI, CWI is connecting with us. We have made the impossible possible for our kids. They get an opportunity to get more credits, and also it's not, money's not a factor, and that's huge.
Let me just say that I am so grateful to be a part of this organization. And I'm so grateful for the community, those community members that are here today. I want to thank them for their support and their cooperation. And that was a huge effort. If you didn't know it years ago, back in 2007 when they took the vote, or 8, when they took the vote to put this tax themselves to start this community college, that was a huge effort. And that was a great sacrifice, and that was a great commitment. We have a great commitment to live up to. And I will tell the community members that are here today, thank you, thank you, thank you. You've made a difference in our lives, and we hope that we continue to make a difference in your lives and in your community. I can't tell you enough how grateful and thankful we are for what you've done in 2007 and 8 to get us off the ground and get started. And I hope that nobody leaves this room today. Faculty, staff, students, and we have some great, phenomenal students. Don't leave this room today thinking that you don't make a difference. You have no idea who you're going to touch and what impact that's going to make. What you cast upon the waters will come back tenfold. Quite frankly, what you do will show up every graduation. We have a heartwarming, tear-jerking event that tells us we have made a difference. But we need to keep telling ourselves that every day. You, each one of you in this room, have the opportunity to make a difference. Whether it's tweeting or Googling or talking to a student or helping someone that looks lost in one of our buildings, you make the difference. And I can't thank you enough for what you do and where we've come today. We are literally recently recognized. That's unheard of for a fight for a community college of our age. We're so new, it's great. We're doing a great job. Let's not let up. Let's dig in, dig down, and know that we've got more challenges to move forward. But we have a responsibility now for those that have set us up and got us to the place that we're at. We need to deliver back to the community. We will continue to change people's lives for dynamic purposes forever. And as long as we have the kind of people in the room that are in the room today, we will always be doing that day in and day out. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate your attention. That's the end of our address at this time. The community members, we want to thank you for coming. We appreciate you being here. Staff, we're going to have the staff recognitions awards right here, right now. So thank you very much, and thanks to the community. Thank you very much for coming.